Hey guys, it seems that ever since the Guinness Book of Records became popular, people are constantly trying to break someone else's records, or even set the new ones. And not only people, even animals set new records which are sometimes very surprising. A few years ago, a neutered sheep named Chris strayed away from the herd and went to live in the forest. He was accidentally found by animal rights activists a few kilometers away from the sheep farm in the Canberra area. The sheep hasn't been shorn in about 5 years and was covered in a 47-centimeter coat of fleece. He was carrying such a heavy load that the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals said that he was on the verge of death. Chris is a fine-fleeced merino ram, a breed that mainly lives in Australia. They differ from the ordinary sheep by the high quality of their wool, which consists of thin, soft fibers. Chris has most likely never been shorn, which is why the quality of his fleece wasn't that great. Because of all the wool, the animal's eyes and neck disappeared, which turned him into a woolly cloud. He could barely walk, said the head of the local animal rights society, Tammy Vendange. She invited Ian Elkins, Australian shearing championship winner, to shear Chris. The animal was laid on the side and the pressed layers of wool were gradually cut out. Chris was sedated throughout the procedure since removing so much wool could cause him pain. It took 45 minutes to shear Chris, while the annual shearing of a sheep usually takes about 3 minutes. It was as if the ram was pulled out of a shell. Chris turned out to be quite a small animal, which is characteristic for the merino breed. Elkins cut off all the excess. The activist weighed the bag of wool. The ram lost half its weight, 40 kilos. After the shearing, Chris was treated to an antiseptic spray. It took 5 combines to move out the 40 kilos of wool. Elkins said that he hasn't seen anything like it in his 35-year-long career. The shorn wool would be enough to knit 30 sweaters. They are now looking for an owner for Chris, and if they don't find one, the ram will stay at the animal activist shelter. According to the shearing champion, the quality of Chris's fleece is too poor to sell it. They will most likely donate it to a museum, Elkins said. If merino sheep aren't shorn for a long time, they develop serious diseases. They now want to place Chris in the Guinness Book of Records. If Chris had not been found, he could have died in the coming weeks. The weight of the wool could have caused skin burns, as the skin couldn't withstand the heavy load. A turtle called Birdie is the fastest turtle in the world. The record holder lives in Great Britain. His owners are Marco and Janine Calzini, who own an adventure park in Durham in the northeast of England. A few years ago, the couple decided to open this unusual park. They brought about 200 exotic animals to attract visitors, including a couple of turtles, male Birdie and female Shelley. The owners of the park had no idea that one day Birdie would make them famous around the world. They simply noticed that Birdie runs incredibly quickly to his feeding bowl, demonstrating a phenomenal speed by tortoise standards. The Calzinis realized that this high-speed turtle could be an excellent advertisement for their park. Thus, they decided to find out who is holding the world record in speed running among turtles. That's when they decided to turn to the famous Guinness Book of Records. It turned out that the world record among turtles was set a very long time ago, back in 1971. Also in Great Britain, by the way. A turtle named Charlie reached the speed of 0.125 meters per second. So in 1 hour, the animal could go the distance of 450 meters. To the surprise of Marco and Janine, their pet easily beat the result set in the distant 70s. Bernie could reach the speed of about 1 kilometer per hour, which is more than twice over the speed of the existing record. That's when they got the idea to get Bertie into the Guinness Book of Records. The new record holder did not disappoint. going the distance of 5.48 meters in just 19.59 seconds. With this speed, Birdie could finish a classic 100-meter race in 6 minutes. It would be a laughable result for a human, but for a turtle, it's the speed of the legendary sprinter Usain Bolt level. By the way, that's exactly what Birdie the turtle gets called sometimes. The happy owners built a new home for Birdie, where he lives with girlfriend Shelly. In front of the house, they put up a certificate confirming that Birdie isn't just an ordinary turtle, but a world record holder. The owners are proud of their pet, although they do tell that the best rewards for Birdie aren't the medals and certificates, but rather a strawberry, which he gets before the start of the race. It's the best doping for the record holder. A beagle dog named Purin from Tokyo set the world record for the fastest 10 meters traveled on a ball by a dog. The dog covered the distance in just 10.39 seconds. It's the second world record for the 10-year-old Purin in her life. A year earlier, she had already gotten into the record book as a dog who caught the most balls in 1 minute, having caught 14 balls in 60 seconds. The beagle's owner, Makoto Kumongai, trains his pet for 15 to 30 minutes every day. He says that Purin loves healthy food and doesn't like bananas. The beagle has her own account on Facebook and a YouTube channel where the videos of the training sessions and the life of this gifted dog get posted. Cats are much more reluctant to train as compared to dogs, which makes the accomplishments of Didga from Australia even more impressive. The talented cat can perform over 20 tricks, and she does it with record speed. An Australian, Robert Dolwet, adopted Didga from the shelter when she was just a kitten. Soon he noticed that the kitten was very smart and trained easily, which is why he began to teach her various tricks. Robert admits that training such independent creatures requires a lot of time, encouragement, and patience. But now Didga has set the world record by performing 20 tricks in 1 minute. "I always knew she was special," said Robert. For her success, Didga gets rewarded with her favorite treat, kangaroo mints. Didga set the world record last year, but the Records Book YouTube channel only recently has posted a video dedicated to the unusual animal. Didga obediently performs all the tricks, sits and lays down, turns, stands up, jumps, and even rides a skateboard. This llama is the star of the Canine Center in North Wales. The animal learned to jump hurdles and cleared his record of 1 meter and 13 centimeters. The llama is called Caspa and is 9 years old. A few years ago, the wild animal got to the Canine Center because he needed veterinary care and supervision. The llama quickly became friends with the dogs, but she was very cautious about people. Sue, an employee of the Canine Center, says, "I've been training dogs for many years, but training a llama is completely different. She wasn't friendly at all, but I took it as a challenge. I was determined to find a way to reach her." At first, Sue decided to teach the llama to heel, but it didn't even cross her mind to obey. However, the center's employee noticed that Caspa watched the dog's training sessions with curiosity. When the dogs were jumping hurdles, she'd also start jumping. "I'm really proud of her. I began calling myself the llama's mom," says Williams. It's interesting that llamas serve in some nations to carry heavy loads. One animal can carry about 30 kilos per day over a distance of 20 kilometers. When the load is too heavy, the llama sits down. If the llama driver insists, the animal can spit on them with fetid saliva. The wild and unfriendly animal even began to enjoy the public attention. The llama was given a formal tie in which he gladly poses for photographers and cameramen. A turtle named Jonathan lives on the St. Helena Island. Scientists believe that he's the oldest living creature on Earth since he hatched back in 1832. The St. Helena Island is widely known for being the place of exile of Napoleon Bonaparte. Now the huge turtle Jonathan is the main local attraction. Just imagine that he was born only some 11 years after the death of the most famous French emperor. It's believed that Jonathan was born in the Aldabra Atoll in the Indian Ocean. He was then brought to St. Helena Island in 1882 as a gift for the governor. This area is currently the official residence of Mark Capes, the governor of British Overseas Territories in the South Atlantic. The population here is a little over 4,500 people, and most everyone knows each other. Since then, 33 governors have ruled the island. Jonathan has lived in the residence of each of them. None of the governors want the turtle to die under their management, but it probably won't happen anytime soon. According to the scientists, Jonathan could live for 20 or even 30 more years. Animals never cease to amaze us. Like our video if you agree. Thanks for watching, and until next time.